Hmm. Good evening to those that are going to be rocking with me this evening, tonight. Um, Thank you, as well as those that will watch this later. Um, I just felt compelled to, kind of give an update to those that are praying for me and praying for me and my family and my kids, um, of where I'm at mentally and spiritually and and physically. Um, Today, I would say that I'm at a five, trying to encourage myself to, move past five. The reason why I gave myself a five is because I did not uh, accomplish any of the task, maybe one task that I had written down or wanted to, the task that I wanted to get done today, and I just one reason was because I didn't go to bed at the time that I should have. And hello, um, can y'all hear me? I don't know if y'all can hear me. Please let me know if you can hear me. Um, and so I wanted people to know um, where I am so that they can be praying for me, but also this video could help somebody else. Thank you, uh, Miss Miss Carter. Thank you, Jonathan. Um, and if you could, you know, if you're watching from Facebook, if you can go over to YouTube as well and just, like the video and share with somebody that you think that it may help, you know, uh, because I have an understanding of that I have a journey that people need to hear, even though I don't want to necessarily tell it, if that makes sense. And like I said before, I'm at a five today because I'm typically a productive person. Since my wife passed, Jenny passed, my best friend. Uh, my thoughts have not been my thoughts have not been well. You know, in the sense of I'm pretty linear when it comes to having a plan and then sticking to the plan and then getting things done. And if there is a breakdown somewhere, then I know where to go to fix it. And then I would easily come to her and say, "Listen, this is my issue. This is what's going on." And I know that I can talk to other people, right? But it's so different, because she knew me. I mean, she understand what would be the igniting that I needed to explain to me why I need to do something or where I may have missed the mark. So today I'm at a five. Yesterday I was at, I think, maybe a seven. Maybe at times in the day I was at a seven. And so I wanted to, I felt led to try to be consistent in telling people my story, my journey, and hopefully it can help you. So uh, some of the things that I put out, on Facebook, people ask me, that people call me, and I appreciate that, and they want me to expound upon some of the things that I put out. So I want to tell you about Psalms 34:18 for those that don't know. This is what I've been rocking with, uh, for a couple weeks. Uh, Psalms 34:18 says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." That's the New International Version. New Living Translation version says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He rescues those whose spirits are crushed." And that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at on a regular basis. And so I try to operate in knowing that that's what he's doing. That's what he's going to do. and then understanding that He has a plan that I don't get. And in grief share tonight, and for side note, anybody that hasn't been to grief share and has lost a loved one, um, I'm not God, but I command you to go. You know what I'm saying? It has been, without a shadow of doubt, one of the best things that I could do in trying to heal. And healing doesn't mean that you're going to be over it, over my wife passing, because I'll never see her again until I reach heaven, and that is just that's just hard. That's just a hard pill to swallow. But I encourage you to go so that you can see other people and talk to other people that are going through your circumstance or similar circumstance, but at least have an idea of what it is that you're going through. And so for me, what has happened when I listen to the videos of people talking about what it is that they have, how what they have experienced, you know, uh, so that's what's up, Kiana. Glad to help you. You know, oh, you said glad to help me. Yeah, absolutely. It has helped me because I've been able to talk through my thoughts, and then I don't sound crazy, you know, to them, maybe to other people, and that's okay if I sound crazy to other people. That people have said that even before me losing my wife, and then me have to have these conversations. So grief share, shout out to them. Tonight we was talking about the why. Uh, we questioned, why did God have to take our spouse, our loved one? For me, Jen, why you have to take away Jen? I kind of explained that on another video, but I was able to uh, process that through what they were saying is that God is sovereign, and this is His, you know, this is His domain. I'm just operating in it, and too often we feel like, and I feel like I said this before, we feel like our plan is the plan that God's supposed to be operating on. And as a believer, I had to, I was convicted because I was in the why mode. Like, I still have those questions of, like, why would you take her away? And we was doing really good, you know? But then why would I, not as if I would want something bad to happen if it wasn't going well, right? So it's like a contradiction of statement when I make the initial statement. But I am so glad that He's with me. And then my support group, like, shout out to all of you. I mean, I can't name all of you. I can just say from my family, we'll just talk about today, right? Like Nene, and I'm assuming Zach, I don't know for sure, but they brought me and my family food today. Um, you know, uh there was to Mark Miller, who, called me today and talked to me about an hour and a half and just listened, and we've been friends for over 20 years for sure. Yeah, something like that. 20 years, and we haven't talked in maybe 3 years, where he reached out to me just to say what's up and just to listen to what I had to say. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Mark. I see you out there. And I was able to laugh, like laugh from the belly, and I haven't laughed from the belly in quite a long time, and that was very helpful for me. Gave me some helpful tips on trying to get back in shape or whatever, uh, and just talking about the gospel and how I can use that effectively. Talk to my mom, today, and she was just wanted to know some of the things that I was saying online, right? And which it makes sense, she's concerned about her she's concerned about all her kids, but she called me today to kind of get an understanding of what my thought process was. My aunt Susan reached out to me. I didn't get to call her. I called her, but I didn't get to talk to her. Um, and then there was people that text me. I think it was Miss Shonda with the Chamber of Commerce in Hearst. Just shout out to, and then shout out to the people that are here. So that's today. Tomorrow may be something different. And even Miss Christy Ramirez, that's one of the mothers of the softball team for Gianna, reached out to me and asked how could she pray, and she listed what could she pray for, and then I was like, oh wow, okay, those are actually the things that I that I'm needing to be prayed for, and so I wanted to talk about one of the quotes that I put out. Um, when I was saying, or a prayer, I said, please pray for my mental stability. You know, and there wasn't the reason why I put it there is because I just being vulnerable. I struggle not having my wife here at night. You know what I'm saying? To be able to hold her, to talk to her, and to be with her in that regard. And so my mind wanders, and I want to be able to, as the word says, to capture every thought, you know, and the prayers have helped, and me uh, worshiping and listening to music, and praying have helped, and your prayers have helped too. So that's why I put it out so that it would be more than just me praying about it and understanding that like I'm having to be vulnerable with my mindset, but at the same time, I want people um, to be helped. So that's what that was going on, as well as I'm like I said in the beginning, I'm a linear thinker. Like I'm able to make maybe not instant decisions, but I'm able to think logically typically. But with my wife Jen gone, like I have to I have to function as two people when I've never had to do that before, and that bothers me, right? That bothers me, and so I was like, my mind is not in the capacity of where I needed to be a productive individual. And tomorrow, just to let you know, I don't know if Keanu's still on, but I'll definitely be taking care of this gruff stuff tomorrow. I had to make a late appointment. I had to make an appointment tomorrow to take care of myself, if you will. Then my other statement was, what was it? It was, God speaks even when you decide not to listen, right? Yeah, yeah, self care. They talk about that in grief share as well as my counselor. I go to counseling. So those that don't go to counseling, you definitely need to get that. And so God speaks even when you decide not to listen. And so what I meant by that was not that I'm not listening to God. I'm saying that God is still talking through the scripture, through other people, even when you don't want to listen. So it was to say that it's more about me than it is about God in relation to why I'm not moving forward in my grief journey. That there will be times that I know that He's talking to me, but I'm not listening. And I'm saying even when He's not listening, I'm sorry, even when I'm not listening, he's still talking. No different when like as a married man, when Jen would be talking and she's talking, and I remember times I would say, I didn't even hear nothing that you said. Like I know I said I wasn't even listening, right? I mean that sounds rude, but I was being honest in that moment to say, could you repeat that? I wasn't listening, as opposed to saying, "Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about." That wouldn't have been authentic, and so that's what I was referring to in that statement. Not because somebody reached out to me and asked me, was I having some, was I not listening to God about something? I can't remember. It was something like that, and so I wanted to clarify that. Um, and then I recently wrote, or today I wrote, where is it? My grief doesn't hinder me in giving God my heart. It actually propels me to do so. My grief doesn't hinder me in giving God my heart. It actually propels me to do so. What I mean by that is God has done something that I didn't think that would happen so soon. And so here I am having to function through a loss. And some people would say, well, then how could you say God exists if He allowed this to happen? The whole mantra of how does bad things happen to good people? And I can only explain it as this: if I was to walk away from God in the time that I needed Him most, how would I be? How would I be able to get through my grief journey? How would I be able to be productive for my kids and for my church and for my family, my friends, and whoever else? You know, so I, and also when I was not in my word as much, I sensed that I was going to be in a whole lot of trouble, spiritually, mentally, and physically. And so I also know that if I am not clinging to the hope, which is Jesus, then I'm clinging to nothing. And I would much rather cling to God than to cling to nothing at all. So that's what I meant by that. Even though I feel like I'm at a 5, I have the mindset to know that I need Jesus uh, each and every day and every moment to get through this. And I pray that you do the same. I pray that this brings you closer to your spouse. I pray that you would talk to them more often, talk to them about, if something does happen, what would that look like? Um, encourage each other. Biblically, as it says, the man is the leader and the woman is the helpmeet operating that function, and things would be as you're able to have that time together, you have a lot of peace in the house, and that's what I had. I had peace in my house. Uh, so as I mourn and I grieve, I am so glad that I had a really good relationship with Jenny, a really good relationship with her, and so much so I get to dream about her. I think I've had like 3 or 4 dreams uh, with her in them talking to me. I haven't. I think I've seen her once, um, and it was a very short amount of time that I got to see. I think that was last. That was yesterday or last night that I got to see her. I think that was last night. The day before, I taking a nap. I got to talk to her on the phone. She said I had 6 things to tell you. It was crazy. I was at the gym. I haven't been in the gym in a while. Somebody came and gave me my phone. Like I don't even know who it was. Gave me my phone. It said Jenny. That's what it said. And I began to say hello. How's it going? Hey, I just called you. To let you know that I got 6 things to tell you. And I didn't. I was like, in that moment, I felt like I should wake up and write down the 6 things after she told. As she told me, and I was like, but if I wake up, then I can't talk to her. And one of the things that she told me is that I'm gonna be okay. She said, "You're gonna be okay." I didn't know that was gonna happen. She also told me tell the kids that she love them and give them a hug. She told me where she's at. She said, "Where I'm at is good." said, um, I can't remember the other things that she said, but that was helpful for me because I pray and ask God to at least let me talk to her every now and then, and you know, he has been faithful in letting me do that every now and then. Um, and I'm appreciative of that because he doesn't have to. And on the I guess a lighter note, we read a book called Heaven for Kids. Well, it's called Heaven, written by Randy Alford, I believe, and he is um, he's an author, but I think he's a pastor. And in this book, it explains what heaven is like in from a biblical perspective, and we read it pretty much every morning. Read a couple pages, if you will. My kids love it. It was a definitely a godsend. It was from a lady named Joy, uh, who lost her husband about 10 months ago, and be praying for her. They have I think 6 kids, 5 or 6 kids, and the husband was the breadwinner. So be praying for them that God provide for them. She says that He's done some remarkable things. Excuse me, but she gave me the book, and so I'm reading a particular section of the book. I can't remember. I think it was about what have something about what's going to be happening in heaven. I can't specifically remember. And my youngest son says, uh, "I wonder if there's going to be restrooms in heaven." And I said, "I don't know, man. That's an interesting question." Uh, and so I went to Facebook, and man, y'all, Facebook lit it up by answering that question. Everybody had a range of answers, and I read them to him, and he was so excited to hear that you all responded to him, and I appreciate that. I just uh, I just appreciate everyone that's praying for us because they are felt. Um, they are making a difference. Um, how do I know? Because when I hit a rough patch, it doesn't hurt as much as other people. Also, if I'm engaged in a conversation with you and I'm talking about Jenny, you know, and I'm not crying, it doesn't mean that I'm not still mourning or grieving. I'm just taking that moment to appreciate that I get to talk about her, you know. So yeah, thank you. You know, side note, I'm gonna try to do. Well, it's not side note, but I'm gonna try to do these at least weekly. I mean, I would like to do them daily, but I don't know if I can do that. I know that I just want to help people. I want to help myself. I want to help people um, with whatever journey, grief journey that they're on. To say that it's hard, obviously, um, but doing nothing doesn't do anything. I wanted to say doing nothing doesn't do nothing, but you know, that didn't sound right. And so, um, if you know somebody that this would help, please share this with them. If you're on Facebook, please go over to YouTube and like the video because it helps with the algorithm on YouTube that allows them to say, okay, people are watching this, so other people may be interested in this video as well. So please do that. And if it helped you, put a comment down to say what it did for you, and that'd be very appreciative. Um, I thank you so much for your time. For those that have tuned in, um, October 14th, I'll be doing another live a live session that's dedicated to my late wife, Janeer Glenn. People will be able to call in or, you know, come on live session with me and talk about the stories that they have with they had with Jen. Like one standout story that they experienced with her, or a comment that she may have said, you know. And so we'll do that October 14th. I think I put the time is probably 8:15 on that date, and it's for me, but but more than anything, it's for um, my 3-year old who will not get to experience the things that with her mom that Gianna got to experience, or Joshua or Ethan. And so with that, I say thank you for your time. I appreciate who you are. I love you, and we out here. Deuces.